Halo guys, balik lagi sama gue Vicky. Dan kali ini gue ingin ajak kalian main Ark of Osiris. Ark of Osiris ini itu reguler, seperti biasa aja ya. Jadi gue ntar bakal main sama teman-teman gue aja. Oke, doain aja semoga menang Ark of Osiris ya. 6 menit lagi akan mulai ya. 6 menit lagi nih. Gua 1,6, musuhnya 1,5, 17 orang. Gua 14 orang. Wow, ini musuhnya kayaknya cukup berat juga ya. Karena di gua tuh ada yang 100 eman. Nih, tuh 100 eman ya powernya. Si Ace.
Ω άνουβη παραδίδω μισή την εμήν ψυχή μικρήνην.
Lo ini si Hiken nanti nggak bisa masuk ke AOO-nya loh. Kita lihat Discord siapa aja. Wah, halo kawan-kawan. Hah? Iya, dikit amat nih yang online. Siapa? Jara, teleponin Jara deh. Bentar gue teleponin Jara dulu. Musuh di kota, musuh di kota, musuh di kota. Mana sih Jara? Jara nih, aduh, belum masuk lagi dia. Mana dia? Belum online ya sejarah ya? Belum masuk ya? Si Jara nggak ini? Nggak bales? Nggak angkat teleponnya? Ah, oh, oh, oi. Ken Kaneki, halo bang, halo. Halo bang, halo. Oh, Jar, woi. Wah, nggak online dia. Nggak tahu deh, gue juga. Kotaknya masih di L, tuh. Ya, elah. Kacau dah. Kacau. Halo, halo, halo semuanya. Kalian semua udah AOO ya? Ah, tuh udah tuh. Ini baliknya berapa lama lagi kota Hiken? 3 menit. Ini si Hiken baik bener. Sempat itu om cuma 3 menit. Oh ya udah. Takut nggak bisa. Takut nggak sempet. Hiken mau migra juga. Bareng pejuang kanya. Teng 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 teng. Siapa lagi yang belum? Udah lengkap ya? Equip semua udah ya. Semua equip jangan lupa dituker ya. Satu menit lagi. Gua pasang dulu buff. Gua tuh kalau pasang buff paling demen pakai defense troop cuy. Terus kita pakai yang biru aja nih. Oke, karena troops belum banyak jadi pakainya yang biru aja. Wah, terima kasih Hiken. Ya. Halo. Thank you. Sedih dah. Thanks you RSS-nya. Hmm? Abis AOO lanjut live 270 nggak? Semoga bisa ya. Gua ntar mau beberes dulu. Oh, lo-nya Vietnam nih, lawan Vietnam nih. Kita SS dulu. Hah? Gua masih ada yang di hospital anjir. Gua lupa. Oh iya, si Dras masih bisa gua naikin nggak sih? Gua lupa. Lupa naikin dulu. Ya, nggak bisa. Lagi OSIRIS. Tahu deh. Pada. Habis itu telat sih tadi gua udah beresin tuh. Siapa? Nggak tahu itu si HT gimana strateginya. Bang besarin suaranya. Suara nih. Nah, tuh udah gede belum? Ini pakai DC nggak? Pakai Hiken. Masa? Waduh, habis lah semua sama S lah. Waduh. Kalau dua sih habis lah, atau nggak satu habis lah sama S. Nih, gua kali ini bareng main sama si Ace ini ya di Lost Canyon, di semuanya segala macem hampir dia nomor satu terus. Terus hampir semua komandernya udah expert, equipment udah pada legend semua. Mantep banget, dia selalu top 1. Beuh, gokil dah. Oh iya jelas itu berbeda coy, kelasnya udah beda kalau Fenrir. Sekarang udah nggak bisa apple to apple kalau mau Fenrir. Udah apple to durian. Durian bahasa Inggrisnya apa? Durian. Apple to durian.
Stand strong, governors. His set watches over you.
Rally, kita open rally. Takeda gua ya. Ayo cavalry. Mana Takeda gua ya? Nah, sip. Join S punya rally juga ya. Udah full. Mentang-mentang S saya cepet banget pada fullnya lu pada lu.
ليس من عادة الملوك أن يقتلوا الملوك.
Nggak ada, nggak mau. Maunya join rally S. Tuh kan cepet banget abisnya. Penuhnya si S punya. Gue join.
بإراقة الدماء لأن الدم لا ينام. أنا جاهز دائما لتحديك. نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار، وحلب ستكون لنا.
Ini udah full ini.
Τίποτα δεν είναι αδύνατο για εκείνον που θα προσπαθήσει. Θα προτιμούσα να ζήσω μια σύντομη αλλά δοξασμένη ζωή. Δεν υπάρχουν άλλοι κόσμοι που μπορώ να κατακτήσω.
Queen by title,
Musuhnya bagaimana
but
musuh?
in deeds a king.
T5-nya berapa banyak? Musuh. Nih yang open rally 49M, 45, 34, 36. Waduh, kok pagi-pagi udah keluar ini aja. Nggak T5 kok mereka, 49M doang. Oh iya, 87M di mana? Nggak ada bro. Oh di paling depan, Teoko. Ah dilibas sama S.
Δεν κλέβω τη νίκη.
Gua pakai buat rally, dia cepet. Ngaruh tuh, biar S punya rally cepet sampai. Biar DTP hajar-hajarin semua.
Bayır basılın hamgın bengit. Teysin dandarak. Hügülgün dende sarsılık toduştuk.
Ada kan HT? Oh. Ya, gue full lagi. Mana sih? YUK Alex. Mereka. Berapa menit mereka jalannya? Oh, 2 menit. Iya, itu rally mereka sendiri. Kalau rally kita lebih dari itu. Nah, nih baru bener nih yang gua punya nih. Tuh ada tuh. Lah, pakai Cao sama Minamoto. Gua ambil deh. Iya, Cao sama Minamoto. Tewas lah. Saladin kan lu? Beuh. Oh, Saladin mah GG cuy. Nih, tuh. Gila, rally gua kagak full, lu pada jahat lu. Rally gua cuma 1,4. Lu pada lu maunya masuk ke S lu. Awas lu pada lu. Tuh kan, S dituluin sekarang.
Bayır basılın hamgın bengit.
Δεν κλέβω τη νίκη.
Set's forces have captured an outpost
Enak
of
main di
Set.
HP, gue juga seneng. Apalagi kalau HP-nya itu yang kayak kenceng gitu, jadi nggak nge-lag sama sekali. Garrison, Saladin Genghis Khan, ganti ya. Jadi Belisarius Baibars. Wah, melempem rally-nya tuh. Saladin yang Garrison 12.000, kasih ke Cao 17.000. Ini si Teoko ini yang T5 kan? Kok dia nggak pakai T5-nya sih? Nggak ada T5 dia. Pakai T4 lu dia lo.
Set's forces have captured an obelisk.
Oh, iya maling doang nih. Hajar nih, hajar. Begal pasukan di rumah biar pulang.
Set's forces have captured an outpost of Set.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار وحلب ستكون لنا.
Jangan meremehkan.
Who calls the Lionheart?
Wah, di bawah udah udah turun. Wah, yang 85 juta turun ke bawah, cuy. Kenapa bagian gue yang sudah susah sih? Wah, yang jaga Alex. Pakai Takeda. Wah, tuh 10.000, 12.000 ini kalau nggak di reinforce kalah nih. Obelisnya kalau nggak di reinforce kalah ini. Dia. Wah, ada yang swarm rally gua. Indah. Modal langsung archernya.
Bayır basılın hamgın bengit.
Di atas juga ya, banyak ya. Wah, di swarm lagi. Enak banget tapi. Di gua yang susah-susah di gua. Yang powernya gede-gede di gua. Ambil dress. Gua nunggu bawah deh. Si SS dapat. Belum dapat, masih lama, 2 menit lagi. Teleport sini dulu aja, teleport ini dulu kalau gua. Ini lagi AOO gua. Sam, buka rally, Sam. Tahu mana aja. Jangan mau kalah. Wih, 4 menit lagi cuy. Itu OSIRIS.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار وحلب.
Wah, gua di counter rally. Wah, kalah yang bawah. Yang bawah kalah, dikeroyok sama T5. Bagus mainnya nih. GG. Lebih banyak kill-nya.
Set's forces have captured a sky altar. Our forces have captured a
Lu
shrine of
rally
war.
kemana sih? Buka lagi nih, ntar ini yang siap-siap ya. Obelis lagi ya. Di mana sih?
نحن لا نملك.
Bayır basılın hamgın bengit.
Oh alah, habis nggak ada isi tadi. Oh, ada Richard lah. Selamanya. Join lagi dong. Ini pakai AT. Join lagi dong, pakai AT dong.
وحلب ستكون لنا.
Itu obelis mereka lagi. Hajar lagi.
Our forces have captured a
Di
shrine of
setaltar
light.
nih, di rally yang mereka ya. Biarin aja.
Who calls the lion?
Udah mulai harus ini. Tengah, ayo. Kiri masukkan tengah.
أحذرك من إراقة الدماء لأن الدم لا ينام. أنا جاهز دائما لتحديك يا ريتشارد.
Udah mau nyampe rally-nya. Oh ya, oke.
Δεν κλέβω τη νίκη.
Ini yang jaga berapa banyak ini?
Our forces have lost control of a desert altar.
Woi, join rally cavalry, woi. Ah, udah full. Oke, siap.
Set's forces have captured a shrine of light.
Oke.
Who calls the Lionheart?
Δεν κλέβω τη νίκη.
Bayır basılın hamgın bengit. Değsin dandarak. Bugülgün dende sarsılık doğduştuk.
Ke tengah.
Bayır bas.
Δεν κλέβω τη νίκη.
Nah, cakep.
Our forces have captured a shrine of war.
Who calls the lion?
Aduh.
Our forces have captured a sky altar.
Mereka nggak mau kontes AOO kayaknya.
Our forces have lost control
Mereka
of the
cuma mau
shrine of
fokus
light.
building tuh soalnya.
وحلب ستكون
Ini siapa ya? Lama banget ya. 1 menit. Aduh, Kiong. Remove deh Kiong, sorry. Masih live bang dari sore? Enggak, ini baru live lagi.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار.
Who calls the lion?
Iya, dia main swarm, makanya tadi rally gue juga mati. Dia 85 M, gede dia powernya soalnya. Iya. Tenang, kita ada S. S tuh udah kayak S card kayak. Di mana sih? Di itu. Iya, turun. Ini
Uçak! Esbeges hazırız harnas açık! Аңсоң таңғара қоңқылтың тымырқың печімін қың. Уқ байыр басылың
Our
қамдың
forces have lost control of an outpost of
udah ya,
the
udah diambil ya, ambil.
Calls the lion.
Kiong yang ambil, bagus dah.
Our forces have captured
Ya
the ark.
udahlah. Kadang-kadang kasihan dia nggak dapet poin. Oh, ini hadiahnya apa aja sih bang? Gede nggak? Ini 10, kalau menang 10 golden head. Kalau menang 10 golden head. Ini lagi OTW gua. Lu user kava ya? Iya, gua user kava.
Our forces have lost control of a desert altar. Set's forces have captured a
Open
desert
rally dong,
altar.
open rally dong.
Αλλά δοξασμένοι σου. Δεν υπάρχουν άλλοι κόσμοι που μπορώ να
Set's forces
κατακτήσω.
have captured a shrine of life.
Iya. Open rally Sam. Atila gua, Atila gua lama banget sih.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار. وحلب ستكون لنا.
Enggak. Gua nggak swarm.
Уқ
Iya,
байыр
gua nggak
басылың
swarm.
қамдың бенгін. Дейсін дандарақ. Бүгілгін дендес арсылық
Oh, kalau S udah beda nih ceritanya deh.
Who calls the lion heart?
Mereka banyak garrison loh.
Our forces have lost control of an outpost of Iset.
Ah, nempel lah. Obelis ya. Udah deh.
Our forces have captured a sky altar.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار. وحلب ستكون لنا.
Uқ байыр бас.
Aduh, gua lupa lagi, gua targetin, gua tinggalin lagi.
Forces have captured an outpost of
Mati lah gua
sky
punya Alex.
altar.
Who calls the lion?
Mereka garrison semua loh. Hebat loh.
Our forces have lost control of
Shrine
the
of
shrine of
War.
war.
Wah. Udah diambil ya.
Уқ байыр басылың қамдың бенгін. Дейсін дандарақ.
Harus rally, woi, rally. Dia pada ini bagus nih. Dia pada keren loh.
Set's forces have captured a desert altar.
Τίποτα δεν είναι αδύνατο για εκείνον που θα προσπαθήσει. Δεν υπάρχουν άλλοι κόσμοι που μπορώ να κατακτήσω.
Mau ditabokin itu.
Who calls the lion heart?
Ini Shrine of War boleh kali ini. Di ini. Di rally ini.
Our forces have captured an obelisk. forces have captured an outpost of Seth. Our forces have captured a shrine of light. The Ark.
Ruh bayır
Our
basın
forces have
hamgın
captured an
bengin.
outpost of Seth.
Değsin dandara. Bugün dendes arslık doğduş.
Δεν κλέβω.
Open rally Sam, open
Our
rally Sam.
forces have lost control of an outpost of Seth.
Gua open rally, gua open rally.
Ruh bayır basın hamgın bengin. Değsin dandara.
Our
Bugün
forces
dendes
have captured
arslık
an
doğduş.
outpost of Iset. Our forces have captured the Ark.
Bisa tele bawah. Bisa tele bawah, mau tele bawah nggak?
Our forces have captured a sky. Our forces
Udah bisa
have
tele.
lost control
Iya, atas
of
juga
an
bisa tele ya.
outpost
Mau
of
tele
Seth.
nggak? Tele nggak? Tele nggak?
Our forces have captured a shrine of
Iya,
war.
tapi sana di bawah susah kalau mau es yang tele. Tapi udah di lagi swarm, udahlah. Dapat soalnya ini udah lama.
Our forces have lost control of an obelisk.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار
Open rally dong, open rally lagi dong. Open rally dong. Sam, ke di set altar, Sam. Di set altar mereka, Sam. Iya, di set altar mereka. Open rally dong.
Ruh bayır basın hamgın bengin. Değsin dandara. Bugün dendes arslık doğduştu.
Who calls the Lionheart?
Open dong, Sam. Udah belum, Sam?
Ranch Gordot Aetius.
Well done. We will save Egypt yet.
Cakep.
Seth's
Θα
forces have
προτιμούσα να
captured
ζήσω
an
μια
outpost of
σύντομη αλλά
Seth.
δοξασμένη ζωή παρά μια
Duh,
μεγάλη ζωή.
T4 ku udah habis semua.
Imperatore, noli dubitare mea devotionem.
Ruh
Our
bayır
forces have
basın
captured an
hamgın bengin.
Ini
obelisk.
Değsin dandara.
ini kemana ini? Siapa ini? Rally-nya siapa ini? Rally kemana dia nih? 1 menit, mereka open rally ke outpost loh.
Our
Gokil
forces
juga
have
ya mereka ya.
captured a desert altar.
وحلب ستكون لنا.
Iya. Willy di sini nggak sih? Nggak di sini ya Willy ya?
Seth's forces have captured an outpost of Seth. Our forces
nggak
have
ada.
lost control of a shrine of light.
Ya udahlah.
Seth's forces have captured an obelisk. Our forces have lost control of an outpost of Seth.
Si je n'y suis pas, que Dieu m'y place. Si j'y
Iya.
suis, que Dieu m'y
Mau
préserve.
dibilangin.
As the daughter of a king, I will not give way to such painful consequences.
Je dois être auprès du roi.
Δεν υπάρχουν άλλοι κόσμοι που μπορώ να κατακτήσω. A világ azé, aki elég erős ahhoz, hogy meghódik.
Sam abis ini open rally sini ya. Skalator ya. Pakai infanteri ya, pakai
Our
pakai
forces have lost control of an outpost of Iset.
A világ azé, aki elég erős
kalau
ahhoz, hogy
gitu.
meghódik.
Oke.
Δεν βλέπω τη νίκη.
Gua ntar
Our
pakai
forces have
infanteri.
lost control of a sky altar.
Oh udah bisa ya? Oke, gua tele ke sana ya.
Our forces have lost control of an outpost of Iset.
Bentar.
Our forces have lost control of an obelisk. Set's forces have captured a shrine of life.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار وحلب ستكون لنا.
Nggak ada yang bisa swarm, bangunan mereka nggak ada yang bisa swarm.
Forces have captured an outpost of Set.
Mereka nggak bisa swarm. Bangunan mereka. Sip, bagus S. Nih S nih baru nih. Sama si S. Iya.
Our forces have lost control of an outpost
Suruh
of
pulang sama
Set.
S semua. Oh. Iya.
Our
Pasukan
forces
gue
have
lagi ini
lost
semua,
control
lagi di
of
luar
an
semua.
outpost of
Your
the Set altar.
nightmares incarnate.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار وحلب ستكون لنا.
I shall become your nightmares incarnate.
Δεν βλέπω τη νίκη.
Jangan, ntar lu, ntar. Poinnya masih 13.000 kalau kita rally kota ya. Kelamaan di itu. Kita geraknya lama. Apanya? Oh iya dong, dia power 100 juta, gila lu.
Sky altar.
Kata gue di rally. Oh ya bagus deh. Tapi nggak ada yang jaga loh. Cuma dari Richard. Richard sama tahu jaga anjing. Karena lagi pada keluar semua masuk ke ini gua. Nggak apa-apa tuh di swarm sama S yang rally.
Our forces have lost control of a shrine of war.
Gua udah standby sana.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار وحلب ستكون لنا.
Yang di bawah juga dapat nih.
Our
I
forces
shall
have
become
captured an
your
obelisk.
nightmares incarnate.
Set's forces have captured an outpost of his Set. Our forces have captured an obelisk. Our forces have captured an outpost of Set. Our forces have lost control of an outpost of Set.
Ledekin coy. Open rally dong nih. Sign of war, sign of war. Wih, di rally lagi gua, Cak. Itu yang open rally lagi aja tuh. Bahkan gaya. Hah? Sign of war nggak ada isinya. Oke, gua pukul. Itu puk open rally puk itu puk yang rally gua tuh. Banyak gaya. Ramses puk. Siapa tuh? Oh si Jane. Wah menang gila. Enak aja kamu.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار
Bentar ya.
وحلب ستكون لنا.
Infantry.
Our forces have lost control of a
Pas nih,
shrine
deket
of
nih.
life. Our forces have lost control of an outpost of Set. Our forces have captured a shrine of life.
Gue udah dapet sign of war-nya. Di set altar ada isi
Our
gak sih dia?
forces have
Pada?
lost control of an obelisk. Set's forces have captured a desert altar.
Ih, kota gua asik dipukulin lagi. Ya, terusin aja. Si S buset dah semua diratain dah kayak apa tahu. Siapa sih Bu Om Nak Iya. Beda ya kalau power 100 juta ya. Tuh lihat nih, bentar lagi yang rally gua di swarm sama dia nih. Wah, hati lah gua mati.
Set's forces have captured an outpost of Set.
Join aja dong, cavalry.
Ranch Gordot Aetius.
Wah,
Our forces have captured the Ark.
join rally please.
Our forces
Atas,
have
atas,
captured
atas.
an outpost of
TP,
captured a
TP
shrine
atas
of
semua ya,
war.
TP atas semua aja. Mana sih tengah? Running charge, tengah
Set's
running charge.
forces have captured a
Udah,
shrine
udah.
of light.
Hard push mana sih? Ya mana sih lu, Dres?
Set's forces have captured an outpost of
Ah,
Set.
udah. Gue pakai itu di box down ya.
Set's forces have captured an obelisk.
Gue juga ikut Semuanya iya pada teleport aja.
Our forces have lost control of the shrine of light.
دائما لتحديك يا ريتشارد.
Naik atas aja, Sam. Naik atas, Sam. Bersihin mereka.
Our forces have lost control of an
Ada
outpost
itu
of
ah.
Set.
Ini nih atas obelis ada nih.
نحن
Our
لا
forces
نملك
have
إلا
captured an
الانتظار.
outpost of Set.
وحلب ستكون لنا.
Lagi swarm lagi, ayo minta suruh lagi. Oh, udah suruh pulang.
نحن لا نملك إلا
Nah, tuh udah tuh.
وحلب ستكون لنا.
Δεν κλέβω την
Nih lagi nih. Azaria di mana? Yo itu Azaria di open rail itu. Sama siapa sih? Lin. Ini swarmnya Lin nih. Swarm this. Gue udah bilang tadi.
Well done. We will save Egypt.
Τίποτα δεν είναι γίνεται για εκείνον. Δεν υπάρχουν άλλοι κόσμοι που μπορώ να κατακτήσω.
Set's forces have captured a shrine of light.
Gue ready ke bawah kok. Gue ready ke bawah itu.
Our forces have captured an outpost of Set.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار. وحلب ستكون لنا.
Set's forces have captured the desert. Our forces have captured a desert altar. Our forces have captured a shrine of light. Our forces have captured a sky altar.
As the daughter of a king, I
Our
will not
forces
give way
have
to
lost
such
control
painful
of an outpost of Set.
Takut mereka. Nih join kotak. Sini aja Sam. Habisin mereka. Nih ini dong. Join dong. Rally city.
Who calls the lion?
Join rally dong. Join rally dong.
Δεν κλέβω τη νίκη.
Oh yang di atas join rally dong. Ayo join rally yang di atas. Atas join rally, ayo atas join rally.
إلا الانتظار وحلب ستكون لنا.
Δεν κλέβω τη νίκη.
Dia kotanya lagi di rally, kasihan.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار وحلب ستكون لنا.
Seth's forces have captured an outpost of his set.
نحن لا نملك إلا الانتظار وحلب
Suama aja nih rally-nya nih. Teh, lu punya martel, Teh. Mana sih rally-nya si S? Rally-nya S. AT. Oke, siap.
ليس من عادة الملوك أن يقتلوا الملوك.
أنا جاهز دائما لتحديك يا ريتشارد.
Our forces have captured an outpost of Seth.
Itu Fenrir apaan tuh pakai Dragon Lancer tuh?
Our
Weh,
forces
bener
have
boy.
lost control of a sky altar.
Who calls the lion? Who calls the lion?
Siapa?
I
Ayo
shall
banget tuh,
become
Sam.
your nightmares
Our
incarnate.
forces have lost control of an outpost of his set.
Woi, join rally woi. Sun Om. Gue pengen ini nih, kayak sombong nih orangnya.
Ahol én elmegyek! A fű sem nő többet, soha!
Yo, join rally ya. Woi, cavalry woi. Ini tengah kok rame banget sih.
Θα προτιμούσα να ζήσω μια σύντομη, αλλά δεν υπάρχουν άλλοι κόσμοι που μπορώ να κατακτήσω.
Queen by title, but in deeds, a king.
Udah kan. Kan gue udah ditulis all TP here.
As the daughter of a king, I will not give way to such painful consequences.
九合诸侯，一匡天下。Once more onto the breach!
Our
Ini ada
forces have
mantan
lost
nih.
control of an
Ngomong-ngomong
outpost
ini
of
nggak
Seth.
diambil ya? Sky altar atas ya?
I shall become your nightmares incarnate.
Seth's forces have captured a sky altar.
Udah habis ini. Can I attack? Ah, kasih.
Seth's forces have captured a
Give Ace the Ark.
Our forces have captured an outpost of Seth.
I shall become your nightmares incarnate.
Δεν κλέβω τη νίκη.
Our forces have lost control of a shrine of life.
Ya, gua datang udah pada bersih
Our
semua.
forces have lost control of an outpost of Seth. Our forces have lost
I shall
control of a
become your
desert altar.
nightmares incarnate.
Lu di mana sih, Sam? Masih di atas lu ya? Setia amat lu, Sam. Di situ, Sam. Gue jadi kagak enak meninggalkan dirimu. Nih bersih-bersih nih.
Our forces have captured an outpost of Iset.
Ada yang datang emangnya? Bawah sini ayo, bawah sini. Nih.
Our forces have captured the Ark.
Di mana?
Our forces have lost
Nih.
control of an outpost of Seth.
Lagi mau OTW. Mobil itu di rally. Ntar gue TP ke sana.
Our forces have lost control of an outpost of Iset.
Δεν κλέβω τη νίκη.
A világ azé, aki elég erős ahhoz, hogy meghódítsa.
S punya rally mana ya? Lama banget ya, S. Oh, ada yang dari jauh. Oh, buka rally 5 menit ya.
I shall become your nightmares
Wah,
incarnate.
rally gue di rally, Cok.
Aki elég erős
Rally-nya apa?
ahhoz, hogy
Pakai apa?
meghódítsa.
Pakai Saladin nggak apa-apa lah. Kan juga nempel.
Seth's forces have captured a desert altar.
Who calls the fire?
I shall become your nightmares incarnate.
Our forces have captured a sky control of a desert altar.
Lah,
Our forces
nggak
have
ada yang
lost
di dalam.
control of an outpost of Seth. Captured a
Cuy,
shrine
kita
of
semua
life.
tahu terpaku, nggak ada yang di dalam itu. Bisa altarnya kena ambil lagi. Padahal depan begini banyak orang.
I shall become your nightmares incarnate.
Apa? Oh, outpost ada isi ya? Kalah, Cok. Gue tadi di rally, lagi jalan, terus mana di sini ditempel di swarm. Sini kan ada Teoko ini T5 80. Tadi berapa? Tadi 87M ya. Sekarang tinggal 71M. Bentar lagi udah ke zero itu. Bentar lagi mati.
Our
Udah nggak
forces
troops.
have lost control of an obelisk.
Oke, OTW.
Our forces have captured an outpost of Iset.
Hah? S kemana bawa orka?
Our forces have captured an outpost of Seth.
Masa? Oh iya, lu dibawa ke rumahnya lu. Kok ngapain? Kok nggak taruh di sign of war
Our
sih?
forces have lost control of a desert altar.
Mana? Lu di mana sih? Lu jauh banget, Sam. Gak tahu gue juga.
Our forces have lost control of a shrine of life. Our forces have captured an outpost of
Woi,
Seth.
join Relic Cavalry, woi.
Well done. We will save Egypt.
Si S tuh pakai yang boostingnya yang 300.000 ya. Gila, pantesan aja. Ngeri banget. Nah lo, bagaimana udah ajak bocil-bocil nih.
Δεν κλέβω τη νίκη.
Yo, bawa. Ini tolong desert storm dong, desert storm di rame nih. Nah, ya kan. Terus ntar kasih mystical form. Kita nyampe. Modar dah lu.
I shall become your knight.
Join rally dong, cavalry dong di atas, join kayak cavalry. Ya, cuman 2 gua sama Hiken.
Our forces have lost control of a desert altar.
Sam, rally lu di rally itu, rallynya mana sih ini ya?
Captured an obelisk.
Itu cuma 400.000 kayak isinya tuh.
Who calls the lion?
Mana sih? Oh ini, yo.
Set's forces have captured a desert altar.
Itu gua lagi regular rally, Cok. Lagi OTW itu.
I shall become
Yang bawah,
your knight
anjir.
incarnate. I shall become your nightmare.
Yang bawah aja itu. Ini 26M juga nih. Ih, ada 2 40. Dia TP, coy.
Your nightmares incarnate.
Dia TP kemana?
Our forces have lost control of a shrine of war.
Dia TP kemana itu ya? Kok bisa sih dia TP?
Our forces have captured a shrine of life. Our forces have captured an outpost of Seth. Our forces have captured a shrine of life.
Mana lo? Nggak usah lah. Jadi suruh naik Gojek aja lah.
Our forces have captured an obelisk. Seth's forces
Udah bisa
have
TP,
captured the
ore.
desert altar.
Si S langsung dah TP. Gokil nih. Oh Hayate lu, pejuang kanya. Itu ya, TP, gue pikir S. TP sini, langsung TP
Our
sini.
forces have lost control of an obelisk.
Ya, diambil langsung obelisnya.
Who calls the lion?
Swarm aja nih.
Our forces have captured an outpost of Seth.
I shall become your nightmares incarnate.
Gue punya Kuanyu tapi masih di Kingdom KPK Season 2. Wih, migrasian.
Who calls the lion?
Itu T5 semua? Enggak, ini enggak T5 semua. T5-nya mungkin 4 ke 5 kali. Bang, kalau nonton video lu buka T5 jadi ragu. Turun niat gua, risetnya parah, lama banget. Ya nggak apa-apa, pelan-pelan ditabung aja. Bang, kapan OSIRIS sama Zara? Nggak tahu, tergantung. UNS playing from D, yes. Nggak, gua lagi tengah. Hello Ishan. Iya nih, bawa yuk Sam, bawa Sam. Wih, Jara open rally, cok. Yang tabah ya bang, saya pun kalah juga AOO. Loh kok ini gua menang kali. Aduh, gua nge-lag. Ini gua menang. Ini biru tim gua semua. Aduh nge-lag. Gue mau teleport, belum bisa. Wah iya cok, 19 detik. Nggak ada, isi cuma gua doang itu sama
Our
S.
forces have lost control
Ya.
of an obelisk.
Rally kota langsung nih. Lawan di AO suka nggak imbang. Iya memang kadang-kadang gitu, kadang-kadang sedikit ya. Udah TP atas aja nih buat buka open rally, ayo sini.
Our forces have captured a desert altar.
Ayo nih.
Our
Si
forces have
buang
lost
Amha.
control of a shrine of light.
Sombong dia kayaknya. Bang aku off by, yo.
Our forces have lost control
Open rally
of an
coy,
outpost of
open
a
rally coy.
set.
Open rally semuanya di sini. Join S punya rally juga, join siapa punya juga, semuanya join aja semua. Sebentar nih gue lagi pilih. Ih gue nggak punya cavalry lagi anjir. T3 mau Sam.
Set's forces have
Mana
captured
sih?
an obelisk.
Kok lu cancel sih? Open lagi lah. Ayo open lagi. Gue isi ke lo ya deh. Cavalry gue tinggal segini doang. Ah ada dikit.
نريد بتار ميا ديفوزيونم.
Open infa. Oh tahu gini gue open infa ya.
Set's
Soalnya
forces
udah
have
ada anti
captured a
takeda,
shrine
pada
of
males
light.
pakai infanteri tahu.
Our forces have lost control of a sky altar. An outpost of his set.
Heal dong. Aktifin cheat ya bang, kok nge-lag kayak PUBG aja. Pusing. Eroka ada cheat ya? Gak ada tahu Eroka. Eroka tuh game paling ngeri.
As the daughter of a king, I will not give way to such painful consequences.
أحذرك من إراقة الدماء لأن الدم
Ntar ya, abis ini gua open ini. Open pakai siapa tuh namanya tuh? Pakai infanteri ya.
Once more onto the bridge.
Δεν κλέβω τη νίκη.
Tigo menang AOO, wis lumayan ya. Bang, AOO troops bisa mati atau cuma terluka doang? Di sininya kayak terluka, cuman kalau kamu udah balik ke Home Kingdom itu langsung full lagi. Jadi ya nggak ada namanya terluka atau apapun. Tapi kamu jangan sekali-sekali nge-heal. Kalau nge-heal ya hilang kamu punya ini. Apa tuh namanya tuh?
Our forces have
Speed
lost
up-nya.
control of an obelisk.
Ya.
Set's forces have captured an outpost of his set.
A világ azé, aki elég erős ahhoz, hogy
Atpus. Tunggu nempel lu aja lah. Tunggu nempel, lu punya rally juga nempel aja jadinya.
calls the lion?
Ntar gue begitu kelar, siapin satu infanteri ya buat pada ya.
Our
Siapin
forces
satu
have
slot
lost
ya.
control of an
Ntar gue open
outpost of his set.
Alex Martel. Martil lagi. Mereka udah pada acak adut mulai nih. Awal sih rapi, mereka tapi rapi banget mainnya loh. Gua nggak bohong loh. Sampai semuanya ya, opennya tadi tuh ya. Tadi itu tuh kewalahan di struktur ya. Karena mereka tuh ya open rally ke semua struktur dan semua struktur tuh ada ininya.
Set's forces have
Ada apanya
captured
tuh, ada
a desert
isinya.
altar.
Ada garrison.
A világ
Bagus
azé,
banget.
aki elég erős ahhoz,
Mereka
hogy
pada rapi
megfogja.
banget, cuman kalah karena kita
Set's
ada
forces
S
have
aja.
captured
S
an
tuh
obelisk.
terlalu buas ya menurut gua. Semua diratain sama dia. Nih pakai Xiang Yu. Waduh, gila. Push sekarang. Lu gak kena dong. Hah? Udah?
Set's forces have captured an outpost of his set.
Bukan gua tadi yang aktifin HT kali. Oh, mereka tele ke atas. Oh ya udah kita open rally lagi aja. Ada playboy di atas.
Our forces have captured an
A
outpost
világ
of his
azé,
set.
aki elég erős ahhoz, hogy megfogja.
Soalnya S juga sama sih kayak kita, makan kuda semua S. Gua kuda, S kuda, draft kuda. Cuma Fenrir doang yang gak kuda. Sisanya makan kuda semua, makanya kuda cepet banget habis.
Our forces have lost control of an outpost
Pemakan
of
kuda
Ascent.
semua di sini. Masa Hayati nge-swarm? Di mana? Woi, kagak bisa cuy, lu sendiri, lu tewas tuh kalah itu. Gue open rally lagi ya, open rally gue ya.
Our forces
Open
have
rally, oi.
captured an outpost of Ascent.
Bukan itu yang atas, obes atas.
أحذرك من إراقة
Infanteri atas ya.
لا ينام.
Hah? Nggak apa-apa, masuk dulu aja, ntar tinggal sambil teleport, nggak masalah.
Our forces have lost control
Kan juga
of an
bisa.
outpost of Ascent.
Teleport rally-nya dibawa. Ayo, join.
Our forces have captured a desert altar.
Si S
Our
mau
forces
masukin lagi
have
ke rumahnya.
captured an obelisk.
Tele, ayo tele. Ayo infanteri woi. Join semuanya woi. Yang di sini semua di swarm aja, kota-kotanya di swarm rame-rame. Di mana rame swarm aja, langsung swarm aja. GPL swarmnya.
Well done. We will save Egypt.
Ayo tuh dress, open rally dress. Ke atas. Ayo atas, itu open rally ayo. Join rally infanteri ya.
Forces have captured an outpost of Seth.
Infanteri join. Terus open rally lagi dress. Kota. Yang di sini semua di swarm dibersihin. Sapu bersih.
أحذرك من إراقة الدماء.
Ajar ya. Sapu bersih semuanya ajar ya. Pakai seat juga keluarinnya semua nih kota-kota di swarmnya. GPL. Wah lu di swarm lu. Sempul banyak gaya nih.
Forces have captured an outpost of Seth.
Wah hajar. King Frumer. Belum tahu. Macam tak ya. Sam lu punya rally mana? Udah nggak ada yang join. Gue join. Tenang.
Δεν κλέβω τη νίκη.
Ajar nih Atlasfieldnya nih, banyak gaya Atlasfieldnya nih. Bang, fungsi deposit di AO itu cuma dapat poin aja ya? Deposit apa tuh? Deposit nggak tahu gua. Hah? Item tambang. Oh, getter. Ini karavan itu buat itu poin aja ya, betul. Poin aja, nggak bisa di convert, nggak bisa diapa-apain. Ayo woi, semuanya join rally woi. Open rally semua woi. Di sini mau power berapa? Open rally ke atas semua woi. Playboy pasukannya banyak tau dia. Di swarm dia, Playboy. Iya. He can open rally. Hayate open rally, semuanya open rally. Open semuanya, nggak mau tahu. Ayo open. Udah nggak ada gua. Tempat pakai spearman ya. Pakai spearman sama ini nih, swordman. Wah, Alex gua nempel.
Κλέβω τη νίκη.
Wah, Alex gua di
Our
ini.
forces have lost
Tear
control of an
down.
outpost of
Oke, siap. Wah, last nih. Beuh, kita SS dulu, last nih. Gila cuy, Alex gua hold strong. Dikasih senyuman dulu dong, diledekin. Nah. Wih, kok Saladinnya nggak jadi sih, Sam? Saladinnya kok di cancel?
Our forces have captured a shrine of light.
Oh, udah kelar jadinya. Wis, victory, yes, lumayan. Buat Hadi, buat Hiken, thank you semua di sini. Hiken sama Hadi, sama pejuang kanya, last AOO bareng sama kita. Thank you ya Hadi, sama Hiken kalau nonton. Wah, yang MVP-nya Ace. Individual score-nya 178. Gokil nggak sih, Ace? Cool boy Jen. Total kill-nya 30M. Buset, si S sih ngeri banget. Oke, bagi yang mau tahu nih, ini hadiah AOO kalau menang. Hadiah AOO kalau menang dapat resort pack, terus speed up, ya kan? 55 piece yang 60 menit, silver key, Gums 2000, legendary golden head 10, Tomes of knowledge, terus sama expansion, expanded training, ya kan? Terus dapat lagi ini, kalau victory dapat lagi Gums 500, target teleport, terus dapat lagi alliance individual credit sama bintang. Sip. Yang nomor 1 Ace, killnya 6,6 juta, ya. Gua killnya 4,6 juta. Si S itu powernya 108 juta apa 119 juta. Komendernya full, semuanya udah expertise, dia memang sultan bener ya. Gua jadi di sini ranking 2. Oke, mantep ya. Tuh. Arc of Side score S juga tadi karena memang dikasih dia kan ya. Total kill Ace. Severely wounded units 1,5 juta S juga karena S pasukannya banyak banget ya. Sisanya udah sih ini. Oke. Kita beres AOO-nya di sini. Kita balik lagi ke main aliansi kita. Terus sebentaran lagi gua akan prepare. Ya, gua akan tutup dulu live-nya. Terusnya gua akan prepare. Prepare-nya itu adalah apa? Wah, kita bisa nonton. Kita nonton ya? OSIRIS League ya? Kita bisa prepare buat nanti war di Kingdom 2170 ya. Nih. Kita war lagi di Kingdom 2170, oke? Karena 2170 war-nya belum kelar sama sekali, oke?
Is starting to come together for 60 GT along.
Di KV keempat kalau tabrakin trup ke city teman satu kingdom sampai dead bisa balik 5% nggak bang trup saya di akhir KV keempat. Kalau misalkan satu kingdom enggak. Kalau misalkan beda kingdom sih menurut gue kayak bisa deh. Oke. Gua sekarang balikin dulu semuanya ke asal mula ya. Ya memang kan dia ada tambah additional troops kalau CPU. Lu ready pakai Osman juga ada. Ya tong. Kiong, tetap R4, terus siapa lagi nih? Tatoyaki udah keluar, Wakashiba. Makarov R4. Terus Wakashiba jadi leader. Gue mau join bang 270. Di sini ada yang mau nonton ini nggak? OSIRIS League nggak? Kalau ada kita streaming nontonin bareng jadinya. Kalau ada yang mau. Kalau pada nggak bosen. Apa maunya itu war di 270 aja? Tapi gue mesti ubah tagline dulu. Oke, udah menang. AOO enak banget ya kalau menang AOO. Dapat gems 2000, berasa banget. Nonton Liga AOO, gas. Oke, bentar ya, bentar ya. Gua ini kirim buat ini dulu.
Je dois être prêt pour le roi.
내가 죽고 나라는 덕으로 다스려야 하는 법.
Ich mag mein
Bentar, gua
Sohn
kirim
wird
ini
unsere
pasukan dulu ya,
ruhmreiche
bentar ya.
Linie weiterführen.
Kasian dia nggak macul dia.
Je dirigerai le peuple que le mot ramène nos guerriers sur le chemin de la conquête.
Loyalty, order. My men are fearless.
Kita bentar ya. Windows Capture.
Alongside of trying to show a good I mean, look at everybody that's coming to the middle for PX34. If they can only get there quickly enough, I think that would
Jalan
help
nggak?
them out quite
Gua
a
nggak
bit.
kelihatan di
I
sini
just
tapi.
find this
Bentar ya.
really confusing. Personally,
Oke, udah ya.
Once I saw that 60 GT really started to
nih.
have all those blue marches in the middle just absolutely start dominating the competition, I immediately jumped over to the rally tab just to try and check and see, okay, well, maybe they've already transitioned to the structure game to maybe grab their points there. And unfortunately for PX34, they just started sending them about 20 seconds ago. So they were not ahead of the game when it comes to structure game. They did get their Shrine of Life back, which is nice, but PX34 was sending rallies the whole time that they were in the middle as well and dominated that.
Kok nggak
middle
bisa
fight.
ya?
Yeah, there was 3 rallies.
Error kayaknya, Kang.
PX34 was sending rallies while the mid-fight was
60
happening?
GT. 60 GT, excuse me. 60 GT was sending those rallies.
Oh, okay.
PX34 just started sending their rallies 20 seconds ago, 30 seconds ago at this point now. But again, I mean, 60 GT was able to not only dominate the middle and have their, their team in the middle go ahead and just dominate everything that was going on the open field, but they also had rallies going as well during the middle fight and won so convincingly. This is starting to shape up like the last match was, where PX34
OSIRIS,
was not
gua nggak
able
bisa
to
gua.
topple
Kalau nggak dari
60
game.
GT's middle team, which is really what has been carrying 60 GT strategy, and just dominate the middle and dominate the structure game.
Yeah, I mean, if the sort of open field fighting we saw by the Shrine of War is any indication, and there, by the way, is hard push by 60 GT, saying, oh, we've got the arc, we control the pace now. They're going for buildings. I think they're going to hold it for a while since they activated hard push. I think, dude, I wonder if, like, PX34 just forgot to do hard push. Because here's the other thing. Now that the arc is in the hands of 60 GT, if PX34 doesn't spend some points, actually 60 GT, since they spent all their points, they could just sit there And they could let PX34 cap. They could max out on 10 points and be unable to do anything. Right? They have to use a skill at some point where they're just going to be maxed on points. I don't know. It just feels to me like
Nah, nih udah bisa nih.
60
Udah bagusan
GT
nih.
has like a clear plan for where they're going and what they're doing. And PX34 with that open field fighting by the Shrine of War earlier, it's like I just don't know why they're not focusing on the one thing they had to do there, which is get the arc.
Yeah, I mean,
Tapi berat,
maybe
cuy.
they did focus, and 60 GT
Kagak
is just
ngerti.
that much better.
Dia
and
pada
they
ngomongin
were able
apa?
to dominate that middle fight. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see them actually commit all their marches to it, right? Because they had at least 8 marches, and we weren't even looking at all the other places, but they had at least 8 marches by that Shrine of War that could have been in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you'd just be surprised how close those mid-fights are. Like, they look one-sided at the end, but they're really a lot closer than you'd think. Like, a small number of marches can actually tip the tide of a battle pretty significantly.
Sure, I could back that up, and I will say that the majority of the marches that were coming from the middle from 60 GT were pretty
Nih,
battered
ini
up,
yang
but
PX
I
sama
will also
GT
say
nih.
I did see quite a few pretty full
Ah, udah
marches
pernah
as
nonton
well.
kan?
I think those were probably the later reinforcements, but still, I mean, we've got a lot of rallies going right now. 6 rallies going, 3 for each side. All the ones for PX34 are currently hitting. And again, trying to do what they can to alleviate the cost that
Tadi
this
habis AOO
lost
awalnya
arc gave
ketekan,
them.
dapat momen langsung
Try and get
comeback.
these
Wih,
structures, and the
mantep.
altars are the way to go, but they do have
Halo Bang,
60 GT
halo.
does have a pretty solid defense, having been able to come
Bang,
back,
saya udah
reinforce the
habis
marches,
chapter
and
The
holding a
Last
pretty
Golden
solid
Apple, tapi
Jadwiga here.
KVK-nya nggak dibuka.
I have to
Sepatutnya
think that,
tunjuk waktu
one
KVK
thing to
dibuka,
think
tapi
about,
tak ada
we
waktunya.
did have the newer commanders for the
Maksudnya
two
gimana ya?
commanders come out, Pakal and Chuck, and both of them are not able to be used in this matchup. Those were the direct counters, in my opinion, to Jadwiga, and that's what's being used right now. Jadwiga Theodora is the standard right now from what I'm seeing. I don't see YSS, I see Theodora. So curious to see if the debuff dispel is really what that Theodora is being used for. I think that's probably the case.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, here's the thing, right? If in a world in which you have infinite choices for commanders, and everyone who's filling the garrison can have
Gila, rame
garrison
banget ya.
captains, and you don't have to worry about
Gak ada
equipment.
suaranya tapi.
You could have a Jadwiga.
Kalau dilihat-lihat kagak ada suncu di situ ya. Iya.
So that you're getting the benefit of all of those
Kocak
skills,
ini
and
nih.
then when you get below
Aduh.
50% health for the garrison, you could switch to Jadwiga YSS if you were to sort of remember to
Tadi
do
jam 11
that.
pagi gua ada
And
AOO
that
kalah
would be
bang,
really
susah musuhnya bawa
powerful. So
T5
at all
udah Express
times you're
Commander.
getting the
Kalau kita T4
maximum
iya.
damage
AOO
boost
itu
and
rada
use
berat
of the
kalau misalkan
skills.
nggak imbang ya.
That's what I would be thinking about in this position, but it looks like they are sticking with the Theo. The debuff clear is really good. I mean, the AoE is quite strong here.
Yeah, I mean, you're not looking for the trades are really irrelevant in this thing, obviously being,
Yeah, you're right.
you don't have to heal for the most part. You don't have to spend your resources to heal this stuff. So I do see
Buset,
a
kayak
lot of
altarnya nih.
Jadwiga and Theodora
Tuh.
across the map. Now, I did see a YSS primary garrison on the PX34 side, but that could have been just a swap.
Ini
in
War-nya
process.
ngeri banget ya.
I know the PX34 is really pushing hard on the Shrine of War on the bottom lane for 60 GT. 60 GT pouring Cav inside of this garrison to defend it and looking like it's gonna.
Nih, kalau
hold up
pada mau
pretty
lihat
darn
yang open
well.
field semua ya, di
Speaking
sini
of
semua nih open
not
field
holding
nih.
up, though, 60 GT did take
Open
that
field
Sky
semua di
Altar
sini
on the
semua
top
nih.
lane from
Nebukadnezar
PX34.
ya kan tuh,
Although I did see
Artemis,
an Ethelfled garrison for
Edward,
just a second,
Saladin,
but,
Xiang Yu,
now
Kuan
Jadwiga
Yu
is
semua
in
di
that
sini ya.
garrison and leading it strong and firm, and this 60 GT contingent coming from behind to go ahead and reinforce that as well, keeping it solidly in
Bang,
the blue
kalau
team's
misal
hands.
aku
And now
migrasi ke
we've got 3
2244
altars
bakal ketemu
that
sama
will soon start
2245 kagak ya?
ticking
Ah, itu gua nggak tahu.
positive
Tergantung
points. In
seat
fact,
ya,
they already
tergantung
are
kingdom seat.
taking positive points for the 60 GT blue team, and again, PX34
Wah,
just
yang jaga
looks like
Jadwiga,
they're a step
Cok.
behind, and it's really not
60
their
GT
fault.
masih
They're
itu
just-
ya.
they're reacting to all
Mimpin
these
ya,
different
10.000
things that are
ya,
happening across
poinnya
the
ya.
map, and they just can't
Wah,
control,
tuh Chandra Gupta cuy.
putting their troops
Keren banget
into
Chandra
one
Gupta.
position to really combat what 60 GT is doing.
Yeah, I mean, is it Groundhog's Day? Because
Tuh
I'm
Chandra
having
Guptanya,
deja
bagus banget.
vu. This
Yeah.
just feels way too much like the last match, as if like we just, I don't know, maybe there's nuances to what's changed about how the teams are playing this. But this just looks like we're running back what we did last week here with the exact same strategy, and no surprise, the exact same outcome is what we're seeing on the screen. So, PX34 is able to get their altar back, right? And the things are even now, but they've really got to flip the script a little bit here. For whatever reason, this just feels very similar to, again, how things went down last week. So what are they going to do differently to get a different outcome? Right? Isn't it?
Nah tuh, kalau pada tahu tuh Cisgul ngomong apa tuh. Di sini ada yang jago bahasa Inggris nggak? Nggak ngeliat Richard Om di situ? Iya nggak ada.
Who said that? Chat, you'll have to help us out.
Tuh, Xiang Yu semua ya, Xiang Yu semua ya di sini ya. Ethelfit masih kepake, Artemis kepake tuh. Edot masih oke ya.
Last week, right? Which I'm not quite. I want to see something new and different and innovative. And oh my gosh, this Shrine of Life, man, 60 GT. Is just taking full ownership of this thing, saying thank you very much. I'll take those continuous occupation points of 80 per minute.
Yeah, I mean, you'll notice they keep taking the outside lane structures. They're not really focusing on the middle because that's where the bulk of
Bang, kenapa nggak jadi content creator aja bang untuk Eroka kayak Cisgul DKK? Gua nggak jago bahasa Inggris cuy.
Decides to deposit the arc. Now, this is a little bit of a change from last week. So remember, last week we saw 60 GT on that first arc immediately capture it. Like it wasn't even thought about. They just grabbed it. This time they have held it for a good 8-9 minutes and is still kind of just camping out, and maybe we'll hold it for another 5. So it looks like 60 GT just trying to go ahead and play the maybe 2 or 3 arc game here, and with them taking structures nonstop on the outside lanes from PX34 and holding their own very strong.
Wah, Zenobia tuh sama Isunsin tuh.
One structure right now that's under duress for 60 GT. Hard push being used by PX34 there.
Nggak ngeliat Richard. Richard jarang lah. Bang, kenapa? Beda banget ya kalau AOO-nya pro sama player biasa. Satu bangunan di pertahanan, iya dong. Satu bangunan itu berasa banget ya. Malah abang jadi content creator Indonesia bang, nggak apa-apa ya. Ya kalau bisa kan gue sekarang juga lagi ini kan, lagi buat-buat kan. Lagi buat-buat jadi content creator kan memang. Lagi buat-buat guide, buat apa. Ya pelan-pelan aja.
And 60 GT is showing like they are a multi-dimensional team here. I mean, they can take arcs, they can take buildings. They've got multiple paths to victory here, which again is very concerning for PX34.
60 GT taking that Sky Altar at the top lane again after using hard push.
Bullshit.
20 seconds ago, so that's got a minute, and it'll be starting to tick for 60 GT. That Shrine of Life on the bottom about to be taken back by PX34. Going back on the red right about now. And then we've also got, again, we've got the arc just kind of camping out. There is a player by the arc carrier that is hitting the arc carrier, but it's a double C-led march, and it's just not doing enough critical damage to grab it. Where's he going to take it?
This could be really weird. So, interestingly, oh, yeah, they backed off. Yeah, so this is really weird. So what they might want to do if they wanted to hold the arc longer is they would actually just not kill the march attacking the carrier, and they would let them pick up the arc, and that would reset the neutral timer. And that is the timer you see in the upper left. That is the amount of time till the arc resets to the center.
Jadinya nih 60 GT ini kayak nge-hold waktu ya. Jadinya tuh kata si Cisgul.
If they let that player in red capture the arc, which would have been a catastrophic error on the part of PX34. I mean, that would have been a truly backbreaking error on their part. So, thankfully, 60 GT not letting them commit that mistake. They took out the PX34 march that could have really made it difficult, right, for PX34 to get enough arcs to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been a full 15-minute reset. That would have been devastating. Self-inflicted devastation.
Nggak bisa bayangin, setiap orang yang ikutan itu Sultan semua pasti iya.
I guess they're trying to prevent the marches from getting to the altar. So I actually kind of like this play. So assuming that what we're seeing over here, and okay, we only got to peek at this a little bit late, but what we're seeing here is a defense.
Tuh, Xiang Yu sama William ya? Atau nggak Saladin sama William? Bagus ya. Saladin William sama Xiang Yu. Xiang Yu tuh keren ya. Buat pemain cavalry gue suka banget. Trajan juga oke banget ya di situ ya. Trajan sama Ethelfield ya.
Okay, all the marches are pretty beat up, and at this point they're just being ignored, which is the right thing to do, right? They can't reset and bring full marches back in. I just sort of wonder, from a logistics standpoint, how it is that 60 GT seems to just be in the right places, man, with more marches. than
Well, we saw this
PX34.
last week, Jiskel. I mean, whenever you're in a position like they are right now, which is almost a 3,700 point delta in favor of the blue team.
GG T5 semua. Nah, ini baru bener nih T5 semua nih.
60 GT has decided, hey, the game needs to go over to the desert altar on the bottom lane. So that's where they're flooding a lot of their marches. But I would probably see just as effectively, and I already see a rally going towards it. I guarantee.
Gua kepencet close anjay. Udah, gua udah punya Siang Yuk.
There's already 2 marches down there to help Swarm. There's a rally coming, and there's another 4 or 5 marches on the way as well. So they're looking to grab something.
Though. Like, I don't know what these marches are doing over here. Like, they're chasing these guys for what reason, I don't know. They're walking around the altar, but not attacking it. So I guess they're timed off with the rally, right? But, like, this is the grand finals. Like, you can't have your timing off. Like, the rally is arriving, and you need to be rolling downfield with
Bang, saran kenapa kok ada Ayatel?
So I get why they're running around.
Saran nggak? Kenapa Ayatelku lembek banget? Equipment kali. 60 GT negara mana? Aduh, gue kurang tahu loh.
Yeah, that Shrine of Life is not full.
Di sini ada yang tahu nggak? Gue kurang tahu gue.
Rally is going to likely take that Jadwiga Theodora out.
I thought I misheard you. You said Edward Rally, and then I looked, and it was actually an Edward Rally. It's Edward Nebu.
Mm-hmm.
Taking out the Cavs.
We've seen that in KVK.
Oh, man. Late to reinforce. You know? If you're late by only seconds, you may as well have not made the trip. That is rough.
I mean, 60 GT literally just... I mean, it's an open book. You could see exactly what was happening on the field. 60 GT committing a large presence towards the PX34 Desert Altar. They did defend it to PX34, but again, at what cost? They lost the structure and likely won't be taking the Sky Altar that they rallied as well. Although that's looking a little under duress. But you know, that was the play. You know, let's go focus on the Desert Altar. That pulls all the defenders from the separated 2 structures on the bottom lane to the 1, and then that means that the garrison on the bottom lane is just not going to have enough reinforcements coming in at a time that will help them. And Edward takes out chunks of damage, especially with Nebu as a secondary there. I mean, it does a lot of damage. So,
man,
no reinforcements. That's the play. I
we're
mean,
in a garrison meta, and 60 GT is just shredding structures like they're made of paper. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable how effective they are at just taking these things down.
Yeah, and the arc being captured just a couple minutes ago as well. 460 GT, it is now a 7,000 point game, 7,400 point game. So I mean, that was just one arc. We're over halfway through the match, and man, this is looking very dominant again by the
gila rame banget ya.
Taking the Sky Altar
beda banget ya
lane, losing
sama arc-nya yang biasa ya.
They've lost
gokil ya.
Game, but again, it's the Shrine of Life, and they have the opponent's Shrine of Life and taking the Sky Altar as well with hard push being activated. That's not going to do you much.
Cina kalau nggak salah.
Needing to recoup 7,500 points plus, not really being able to guarantee yourself that middle fight. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, this is definitely a tough situation. I mean, PX34 having to take their own structure back now instead of going to the middle, because guess what? It's 5 minutes and 15 seconds, which means
20 menitan lagi nih. Poinnya udah jauh banget. 60 GT udah 20.000 mimpin. PX PX 12.000. Lihat deh, strukturnya udah beda banget, udah mendominasi banget. Udah mendominasi banget ini.
On time in Arc of Osiris, and how can PX34 be on time when they've still got to defend their stuff? And that's the problem, is that they're going to finish defending this. All these marches are going to be low, and we're only halfway through the match. Maybe most people are teleported up at this point, but they got to reset their marches before they go mid, or they're going mid with weak marches, and that's not going to work.
Yeah, I think they made it really hard. PX34 made a really hard push.
Beda ya kelasnya kalibernya ya. Auto win. Gila, 60 PX gokil banget. Bangga War dia 70. Ini lagi pada abis ini nih. Pada lagi minta ini dulu. Pada minta ini dulu apa tuh? OSIRIS League dulu. Abis ini nih, abis ini.
In a mid brawl, is more punch in your mid brawl. And if you're having to use something like Swift Stride, it's an acknowledgement of a reality, which is that we actually can't logistically manage our timing to get everybody to the mid brawl. So I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do, but I'm saying it's an act of desperation. Because every one of those points should, in my estimation, be needed. In fact, we know they need them. They haven't won the mid-fight against
Commander
these guys
banyak banget. Oh iya
yet.
dong.
Every one of those points is needed to win the mid-fight, and instead, they're using those points just to show up in time, right? It's a really big problem.
Yeah, and I want to say that's a 3-point play because it's a map skill. So that's 3 points that could have been used for quite a few buffs. I mean, there's so many buffs 3 points wise that you could use to kind of use in the middle, or even on the back end, you could have used Insatiable Desire. With that.
Bang,
I mean, you
War.
could have done anything.
Saya shield.
besides making your troops
Kenapa
move
memang
faster for a little
Dava
bit when there's no fighting at all on the map.
paling
They do
semangat
have an
biasa nih
extra
Om Dava
building,
nih?
although they just lost it as soon as I
Kenapa?
said that.
Tadi gua udah war tadi
They had
3
an
jaman
extra
lah.
building there for just a second, and now the map is knotted up.
Yang main tuh
The
pasti
points per
power
minute
100M
are
semua.
favoring PX34
Iya.
by just 80 points per minute at the moment, and that has to do with that Shrine of Life that just went back blue. But speaking of blue, I mean, the middle is looking very, very, very blue on that top
Sure
lane
is, man.
of that
Buset.
area.
Kalah telak banget ya. Itu lihat deh. Udah kayak kereta
Here we
pasukannya.
are again. We got a bunch of marches off in La La Land. So I don't know what.
Drop
what the
9
goal
M
is.
Om.
I mean,
Abis troops.
okay, so some of
Rally
the
apa
marches
di
are getting
rally kamu Om
actually
Dava?
going to the
Waduh.
middle now.
Tapi memang berat
But
banget
most
sih
of
tadi
these
gue juga
marches have just
cukup
been
banyak
resetting
dropnya.
in their city and that and then going middle. I don't know.
2170 udah terdesak bang. Iya. Soalnya tuh lawannya 76 tuh itu.
I don't know why
Apa
you'd
tuh?
be anywhere
Masih fresh
but
banget.
in the middle to try to just make that happen. In fact, you would almost be pulling people from your garrisons. You'd be so desperate to get people
Bener
to
nggak?
the middle. And instead,
76 tuh ini banget, soal masih fresh banget lawan kita.
Speed skill. Anyways, I'm exasperated, Dragothian.
And they're still behind. I mean, I think that's the piece to take away from all this too. I mean, we were marked on it, but they're still behind. You can see a larger contingent of 60 DT coming into the middle, and they're already there.
Buset nih. Lihat nih, bentar lagi nih mau hajar-hajaran nih.
Just trying to make it there. That's never a good sign to start your battle off with. And I will say too, I'm just not sure. I'm curious about some of the selections of marches for the red team.
Rally dari subuh sampai sekarang. Om Dava di mana? Tadi gua warnya di ON.
Doing some open field fighting. Double C primary.
Aku baru selesai AO juga bang, pakai Suncoy udah seneng banget lah. Ini Commander legend semua. Equipment legend semua, pedih mataku iya.
Especially when you're losing fight.
273 juga fresh, 278 pindah alih jadi ke kita. Yoi, memang bener tadi gue juga baca tuh dari mailnya.
Till 51 seconds before arc spawn, so you could get some more people to the middle.
Itu di mid mau ngapain pada ngumpul?
There it is. Now, I don't get
mau
this either.
itu rekreasi.
So, and they're just getting eaten up as it happens. They're going the
Here's to the death. And to the death by 60 DT. I mean, their PX34 is not in the position.
Saya di OR Om, nah Hantu Kingdom. Wah, tadi gue di ON.
One of their marches that are right on top of all the red marches already.
PX34 walked away. So now they have a gap to close to the temple, but they can't because they're in the middle of.
Wah, kenapa nih?
Yeah, 10
to the
seconds.
death.
And
So if they walk to the temple,
waduh, nge-lag banget ya. Lihat nih, ini legend begini banyak ngumpul. Gua ngeliatnya udah pusing banget dah. Gokil ya.
Yeah, you don't want to be marching to the temple, getting hit the whole way when your opponent has to the death triggered. That's just not good.
Bang, subscribe ya. Yo, makasih. Tolong di-subscribe ya.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So both teams have to the death.
Yo, di sini yang belum subscribe ya. Thank you. Wuset. Ini legend semua ngumpul cuy. Di mid cuy. Buat OSIRIS cuy. Sekarang punya 23.000 per 15.000 nih.
A little bit of an update on what's happening behind the scenes here. I will say too, so 60 GT obviously showing their dominance.
Bang, ada nggak sih perbedaan KVK HA sama Sote? Oh beda. HA kan berapa kingdom ya? Sote berapa kingdom kan?
PX34 has moved the fight towards behind the temple.
No, but this fight's over, man. It's over already.
Bang, Palbot buat ISG atau nggak 551 Martel dulu?
It's over already.
Enaknya gimana ya?
60 GT's on cleanup.
Serah kamu mau apa dulu nih? ISG dulu boleh kalau mau buat max.
Like they're just cleaning
Martel
up the weak
sambil
marches
ini
now.
deh, sambil pelan-pelan dari Golden Key dulu juga deh. Jangan terlalu andelin langsung Golden Head, karena Golden Head sayang. Kamu masih bisa jelajahin pakai Golden Key nggak sih kalau Martel untuk 55 1 ya, kecuali udah mau expertin ya.
So they're already starting to send their next rallies.
Masih live aja Om, buset. Iya dong.
PX34 is still you know,
I mean, this
doing
is
some
why
stuff.
marches that were like late to the middle are you just like may as well have not come, right?
Gue ikut Osiris kayak begini, warnya seketika HP gue langsung
That's
konslet.
rough, man. What a rough situation.
Iya, bener ya, bener.
there. Although,
Gila banget ini
like, when you look
ramenya.
at what people are doing on the map,
Ini mah udah HP-nya
again,
Sultan
I don't-
cuy, udah beda cuy.
these teams have all made
Etelfield kok banyak banget ya, keras pula. Iya, Etelfield tuh bagus banget ya, dikasih Equip Legend. Jadi keras banget Etelfield-nya.
So easy to be a commentator and 100 times harder to be a player.
Terus udah mana?
in the
Etelfield
actual
tuh area,
situation itself,
jadi
right?
barengan sama
'Cause we have
Trajan
the
banyak kan
luxury of
jadinya
not having to
sekarang.
actually do anything with our troops. We're just looking at things, right?
We're
And
just watching.
observing things. And heck, like, you know, it's easy to comment, is what I'm trying to say, right?
Of course.
But
Nih lihat ya,
I
lihat ya.
feel like
Tuh, Etelfield
you made a really
ya
good
tuh.
observation, which is that
Tuh.
like,
Tapi di sini kalau misalkan
PS34 needs to be
cavalry ya,
the most
itu
combat
pasti
effective
adalah
marches
Xiangyu
they
ya,
can do.
Xiangyu.
Forget bringing arc carrying marches. And by the way, I think I only saw one arc carrying march.
Lah aku pakai Etelfield
I
digebuk
saw, like,
bentar dah.
one,
Beda Etelfield-nya.
Cicada primary, right? So I think they were already making that adjustment.
Karena Etelfield tuh area
But
sama
I just
kasih
think they didn't
defense
have
ya.
the bodies.
Kasih
And
minus defense ke musuh.
gosh, when
Jadi
they
dipakai
walked
banget.
away from that fight and like half their team walked away and half their team got eaten.
60 GT yang
You know,
mana?
it takes
60
little
GT yang
things
biru.
like that to be the difference between a win and a loss. I mean that mid fight was actually I don't know if you feel this way, but I actually think it was closer than some of the other ones.
It lasted longer for sure, and I will say PX34 is doing some adjustments on the outside lanes. They're already sending some players to the outside because they've seen the book, right? It's take the arc pretty devastatingly, and then go ahead and rally the outside structures and take them as well, and that makes PX34
Chill banget ya.
foot trying to take that structure back.
Iya,
and then
betul.
they get the middle structure, and then they're already in the middle again. So I mean, they're making some adjustments, but I'm really dreading, and I hope you don't
60
ask me
GT
this,
yang biru, yang merah tuh PX.
really dreading
PX34.
typical Chiscool, you know, next step question to me, which is okay, so they're in a position of
Kalah jauh. Karena troops-nya GT itu banyak banget sih. Beda ya. Di awal aja tuh 5B sama ininya 3B.
Yeah, so here's what I would do. No. You
Ini
asked me
100
the
jutaan
question
ke
this
atas
time.
semua
I'll
ini.
answer it, right?
Yeah, well,
You
consider
you
yourself
figured
that.
out my strategy, Grothian, which is to ask the hard question to you
Yeah.
before I have to answer it myself, and then listen to your answer and add on to it. But anyways, I'll go first here, which is okay. You're down a lot of points. You're down over 10,000 points. What can you do with 19 minutes?
Tadi gue message juga bang, komentar banyak banget. Iya banyak banget, gokil ya.
Scored right away, and I don't think they're gonna do that. So we may be exiting the realm of this being an achievable victory, right? But one option is if the arc were to get scored right away, and there were 2 more arcs, which I don't think is even possible at this point. So, okay, let's actually scratch that plan. What could you do? You could 1-minute rally some of these cities. Hail Mary play. You Hail Mary, 1-minute rally each of these cities. You bring a bunch of troops here, try to get the arc, bring it to the Shrine of War, full send on Shrine of War.
Iya, dari segi powernya beda banget 60
Because if they
GT.
don't get this arc, I think that's
Jadi ya
certainly
mereka
gonna
pada
be
menang
tough.
ya,
If they do get this arc,
bukan
I
satu
mean,
hal
they
yang
gotta get the
mengagetkan
next one
banget
too to
sih.
win it. So
Kalau
they
bagi
need
gua
at this
sih.
point 2 arcs to do the job.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it does look like they're going to the Shrine of War, but not with enough, you know?
I mean that arc is as good as gone. They're
Probably
going
is,
to the
yeah.
Shrine of War, and they're trying.
Bisa ngalahin
to do
JSS sih kuat
something,
banget,
but
iya.
There's always, as always throughout the rest of the match, it's just 60 GT is where they need to be when they need to be there. And I mean, there's an Artemisia carrying the arc and has been from the middle all the way to where it's at now.
Ada
So, I mean,
lebih kali itu.
if you saw that middle fight
T5 lah semua lagi.
and saw it,
Tuh lihat aja dia pada satu bangunan tuh di defense-nya gila-gilaan semua. Kalian lihat deh. Yang defense selalu semuanya Xiangyu, Chandragupta, Cyrus, Artemis, Saladin, Etelfield. Etelfield buat apa? Dia kan area, terus ada debuff. Nah, itu yang dicari dari Etelfield. Kok nggak Trajan yang di depan? Ini tuh lihat deh Etelfield sama YSG.
because again, that's a 3,500 point arc here. we're talking.
Kalau tadi ini ada juga sama Nebu, jadinya pokoknya intinya tuh Battlefield dikasihin semua sama yang area-area semua. Ini yang jaga Theodora tuh. Nah, Chandra Gupta siapa tuh?
500 point match, which is still quite rough.
Wah, rally-nya Cyrus tuh.
GT, I mean, I'm looking at everywhere on the map. And there's just 20 of them everywhere. Now I will say the top lane
Gokil ya, Xiang Yu tuh commander yang wah sekali sekarang ya.
Again, reinforcements.
Semua orang kayak butuh banget Xiang Yu.
And doing what it needs to do. That garrison is half full and looking solid. And again, the arc is sitting pretty.
I just don't think I don't know what you do. I guess you practice some moves to try out next week. Right? Like you just get a little practice for next week on what you might do and how to execute more cleanly. I do see one thing that I think is kind of interesting, which is that the civilization that you choose does seem to make a difference. So I see some samurais on the screen, which is really cool. Somebody has chosen
Gokil areanya.
But also, somebody has chosen Japan. Excuse me? What? Like, why that is not considered a top-tier combat civilization, is it?
Not really, especially in Arc. I mean, the attack buffs you already get are pretty solid. You don't need to have that extra 3%.
Hello.
No.
And I mean, unless you're a gatherer, maybe you're, maybe you're a provisioner. That would make sense.
Oh, okay.
Love from Baba TC
Sure,
Ataturk.
yeah, okay.
Hello.
It's the gatherer. You know what? I accept that, and I have learned something. Because you're right. That makes a bunch of sense. I mean, pretty much every special unit we've seen is Ottoman, right? It's the archers. It's Ottoman. It's the march speed with the skill damage, and that's
buff dari talent support ya. Ya, betul. Itu sama dari ininya juga. Dari skill kan ada tuh.
That I just saw, but they're the gathering players, so that's totally fine.
Yeah, maybe Arabia is a great civilization for ralliers. That's
no
thing.
question,
that extra 5%.
Yeah, 5% all damage is the jam. I mean,
Bang ada Baba. Wah.
Archers, I mean, well, I don't know. I guess you just be Ottoman even then. These guys are all rallying archers, right?
Yeah. I did see an X5
You may as well enjoy the benefit for all the other stuff you're doing in the match, but
absolutely.
If they were rallying calves or infantry, I think no doubt like Arabia would be really good.
Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam.
Absolutely. That's definitely one of the premier rallying, whether it's KVK or ARC or whatever. But I will say the skill damage is enhanced in ARC, so even the Ottoman bonus is maybe even a little bit better. That massive damage coming from heavy nuke, skill damage numbers.
Baba palsu itu. Kenapa Baba palsu?
Look, all these guys are walking away from the Shrine of Life.
PX34
no.
PX, look at the obelisk. PX34 on the bottom lane just took the obelisk and the arc is dropped.
Oh, no way. This is what
Buset,
I'm talking about.
itulah tuh obelisknya di swarm.
This is what we need to watch.
Jadwiga semua ya. Sekarang tuh garrison Jadwiga semua ya. Gokil Jadwiga sih ya.
Moment has concluded. But that's what I was saying about 1-minute rallies on those cities, man. Like, if you're going to Hail Mary, I mean, Hail Mary. You just send everybody. Why not?
Yeah, they should have sent everybody. They only sent one guy.
Sure. I mean, it's easy for us to say. Hard to actually execute a move like that on the fly, but... Oh man, if they took the obelisk.
Wow, udah setengah-setengah sih, tapi poin ya, poin jauh banget menangan 60 GT ya. Jauh menangan 60 GT jauh.
The reality is that 60 GT would have seen that coming from a mile away, right?
I mean, I would hope so, but you would have thought that they would have had a garrison in that obelisk, considering the arc was sitting right beside it, and they didn't.
That's
so
true,
I mean,
man. That's true, man.
You can only plan for so much before you start dropping some things. That would be one thing that could have been dropped. 60 GT and the finals during regular season 4 OSIRIS League, they lost the arc very similarly to JST.
Kalau Baba yang asli biasanya ngasih saweran.
Wah. They thought they had it in the bag.
Ayo nih.
And they were able to go ahead and grab it and roll it all the way back.
Taunya beneran aja lo.
But it took a long time to get an extra 20 minutes to get it. It was pretty rough.
Wow. Man. Oh, that Hail Mary would have been so cool. That would have been such a cool play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would have changed the game. Unfortunately, that did not succeed, and 60 GT is really just pushing everybody.
60 GT.
I see a lot of PX34.
Wah, rame banget.
Marches going up towards the Shrine of War here, maybe with a rally coming behind very shortly. This match,
rame banget tuh di altar nih ya. Om gimana KVK 2170? Ntar abis ini gue mau nih. Abis ini gue abis kelar dari streaming Osiris League, gua mau war lagi di 2170.
Timer. So it's now
Oh,
a 13-minute
GG.
timer again. So
Nah,
that's
no
GG.
more arcs.
29.000,
Wow.
21.000,
I didn't
poinnya
see
udah.
they picked it up.
Beuh.
Ah, jeez. So I mean, yeah. At this
Masih ada
point, it's
tumbukan kah
100%
Bang di LK
guaranteed
270?
victory
Ada.
for, 60 GT, right? Well, what could you do as PX34? You could take all the buildings and the arc? Like, no, not happening.
Nggak bisa nih itu 30.000, 22.000. Kecuali PX dapat semua bangunan, terus sama PX tuh ya, Ark Osirisnya dapat 2 kali lagi, baru bisa balikin keadaan ini. Tuh, kalau kalian lihat ya, PX udah kalah banget ini, udah kalah telak banget. Karena tadi Arknya tuh 2 kali dihabisin sama GT semua. Makanya kalau kalian lagi AOO tuh ya, Ark Osiris tuh paling penting ya.
I mean, you're the one dictating the game, and then all of a sudden you just lost an arc.
Oh
at
no,
your own
dude!
obelisk.
If PX34 had captured that arc,
that'd be a
I
whole
mean, this
different
game would be close.
Nah, kalau
Now,
itu
granted,
yang kayak Cisgul bilang,
PX34
kalau
still
misalkan
hasn't won a big
PX
ball
ya,
against them, so
PX34 ya, PX34 get the arc ya. Kalau misalkan itu dapat arc ya, itu ini bakal jadi close banget ini. Karena kan poinnya berapa 4.000-an kan tuh. Nah, itu tuh.
Aggressed by 60 GT rallies with 20 marches coming towards the Sky Altar on the top lane.
Cisgul and Dragontian make a great duo.
Nebu rally again with at least a few marches there to help swarm 60 GT holding their own.
Wah, tuh. Itu dibutuhin banget ya kalau lagi AOO itu ya, dibutuhin banget orang yang pakai Edward sama Tomiris ya, karena Tomiris tuh kasih damage taken ya. GT kayak menang deh Bang, iya. Menang telak banget ini. Tapi kalau PX bisa ambil arc-nya sekali, masih bisa kesempatan. Terus semua strukturnya menang bisa. Tapi kalau dari yang gue lihat, itu di tengah udah nggak bisa. Itu orang GT tuh banyaknya minta ampun. Kayak tadi tuh, udah kayak mau tawuran. Itu banyak banget ya, 5 semua, dan komentarnya gokil-gokil semua. Tapi sekarang punya 31.000 GT, PX 23.000 loh. Wow. Ini cukup bagus ya, bagus banget ini PX. PX pun mainnya bagus banget ya. Kalau kalian lihat ya, padahal BD-nya tuh 2B, BD-nya tuh 2 billion. Kalian lihat di strukturnya, ya ini ya. Yang birunya tuh udah setengah, yang merah juga setengah. Bagus banget mereka sih, mainnya si PX.
You know everything that's happening, and right now what I'm watching is 60 GT owning 4 altars at the moment with 9 minutes left and owning the arc. So I mean, again, they have the same stuff to work with. It's not like one team's got a 10-player advantage. It's just a matter of putting those pieces on the map where they need to be when they need to be there. And again, timing is everything. I can sit here all day and just talk about, you know, what I'm watching and how dominating the 60 GT team is on PX34 and why that's
Tapi kayak susah deh. Karena apa sih namanya? Karena mereka kencang banget sih ininya. Pasukannya. Jadi kalau PX tuh ada susah.
There we go.
Ya semoga aja. Beda power wajar lah, GT menang telak ya. Makanya kan kalau beda power banget ya oke lah. Karena kan bedanya 2B loh. Kayak gini PX aja ya. Kayak gini PX aja tuh bisa sedikit tandingin ya. Itu udah jago banget.
Ark of Osiris and is getting ready for the next Ark of Osiris League. And I will give a short plug for the official Rise of Kingdoms channel, which we're casting on right now. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, consider doing so and throwing a like on the stream to show your support that you've been enjoying the casting today and enjoying watching the matchup. Also, if you're looking for tips and tricks, again, subscribe to the channel because tips and tricks are occasionally released on this channel, and also links to our own channels are in the description of this video. Dragothian and I
iya katanya
content. Dragothian,
aliansi Cina katanya 60 GT.
What do you do differently for match 3 if you're PX34?
That's just a different way of telling me how do they not lose.
So I'll jump in. I'll do this one.
Okay.
I actually want to answer this one because something that really tilts me. It kind of It really sets me
Bang, lu
off
ngebet
is
PX
when
apa
the
GT?
team
Gue
is all
GT
doing
juga GT.
something and
Karena gue liat powernya gede
other
banget.
people are not
5B.
participating with the team. And I think
Jadi gue betnya
your
GT.
PX34, just how do you find more ways to
5B
win the mid-brawl,
lawan
right?
3B
There's
loh.
two options.
Bedanya jauh
One,
banget.
spend more points. They didn't use hard push at the start, and they didn't spend more points to win the
Waktu
first
itu
fight. I
lawan
don't know
lawan
what the
gitu juga di
context was
atas
there.
mereka, tapi tetap
Maybe they just
menang.
forgot to activate hard push at the start, and
PX ya,
then
PX ya.
forgot to
Kalau
spend
PX
points
mainnya
to
bagus
get
banget sih,
But,
rapi banget. Nih kayak
spending more
sekarang aja
points
nih ya,
is something I would be
strukturnya
looking
mereka
to
tuh
do
kayak
if
nggak
I was PX34.
keambil-ambil.
The second thing I'd be looking to do
PX
is to
tuh rapi
actually
banget
commit more
mainnya.
marches to the middle.
Wajar
And
sih mereka
that includes all the people that
menangin
were
yang
off to the side
power gede-gede.
doing whatever they were doing that strategically I can't uncover what that was. All those people need to actually be with the team.
Gokil ya.
And the third thing I would do is I would at that
Gue jadi
point,
semakin pingin
if you
Xiang
still
Yu ini
can't win mid-brawls,
dibandingin
consider
William.
pulling some of the people that are in the
Karena Xiang Yu
garrison to
keren
go
banget ini.
middle.
Yeah, I think the problem with all that, right? Like, again, I think that just goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like, we're watching this and we're like, okay, well, this is easy. Just get more people in the middle and win the middle. The problem with that is that if you do that, you're going to be losing all
Iya,
your structures.
bener.
PX34
Udah siap matang banget
can't
ini.
hold their structures whenever 60 GT is spreading them out so much.
Ini nggak ada
especially on the
T4 ya.
outside
Kalian
lanes.
lihat ya,
That's what
nggak ada
helps them
T4 sama sekali,
dominate
T5
the middle
semua ya.
Because PX34 not only has to defend the outside structures, but they're
Jadwiga.
possibly losing them, and they have lost them multiple
Keren ya.
times.
Jadwiga
this
semua
match,
cuy, yang
last
jagain
week as
cuy.
well. But then they have to re-rally, re-swarm those other marches, and that's 2-3 minutes where those
Here's the
players
thing.
that normally would come to the middle are behind.
Yeah, here's the thing though. This is a grand finals team. So I think that they've got the capability. I believe that PX34 can manage that. I think they can figure out their timing. They can figure out what they need
Chandra
to do
Gupta.
to get to the point where they can get to the middle. But
Di sini
I think
mereka
they've
pakai
gotta
area
commit
semua.
to the middle. If they can't figure out how to commit to the middle, they got to stop going and just take structures or something. I don't know. Right? But they have to execute on something all in more than they are now. And
Bang, mereka kayaknya miskin
I
bang,
think
nggak
it
punya
should be
T4.
mid-brawls. Like, I don't think that's wrong. I think they just got to find a way to bring more. And
Bagaimana?
once they brought
Yang ada
literally
mereka
everything
berlebihan.
that they can possibly bring,
Berlebihan tuh mereka
I mean,
tuh.
at that point, perhaps they are just being outplayed in the field, right? Like, maybe they are just being thoroughly outplayed with coordination around who's hitting what and potentially kill orders of what marches you focus first. Like, that is also
Kira-kira ente tahu nggak bang,
possible.
GT
Could
pakai strategi
explain the
apa tuh?
difference.
Nggak tahu
The
gua.
fact that we saw at least 8 marches not in the middle.
Yang penting sih sering latihan sih kalau kayak gini-ginian ya.
And a way to get even more marches to the middle on time. That's my guess. And if you're short 30 or 40 marches in the middle, I don't know how you'll ever win a fight.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here too is I wonder if maybe PX34 is just getting a little cute with some of their players. Like, again, I've seen Toast, and he was the one that grabbed the obelisk, by the way, and gave PX34 a chance to possibly grab that arc away from 60 GT. But I've always seen his marches on the field by himself. Like, he's over here by himself swarming the obelisk on the bottom lane for 60 GT right now. Like, he's not helping the garrisons. He's not
4-4-3 formasi, buset. Ini bola dong, bola. Si Taufik bisa aja.
He was out with 2 mobility primary marches outside the middle lane on the wrong side.
Strategi cuan namanya itu.
Stuff like that. I think there's a lot of.
Coba bang bikin video strategi AOO. Waduh, gua tuh nggak pernah bisa bikin strategi AOO.
Maybe are stopping them from doing that full commit to the middle, like you just said.
Right.
And last week we saw when they committed everything, right? Everything to the very end of the match, they won. But I mean, again, they lost the entire map in the process. It was all blue at that point. So I mean, are they going to dedicate? And I guess the provocative question is, do you think that they didn't go all in on these 2 arc middle fights?
No, I don't think they went all in. No. I don't think we've seen them go all in.
I don't know how they didn't go all in and stop rallying while the middle team was going. Like,
Well, I mean,
it's usually
again,
one or the other.
we saw
Bang,
the
mending
marches off to the
Artemisia
side,
atau
so we know they
Ramses
weren't
untuk komentar
all in.
utama di Chat Film.
Right, and
Ramses.
either that's a logistics
Untuk
issue
Yo,
or
3-1
and they
Ramses
might
ya,
have played
Ramses.
garrisons, like we can't see in
Kok
the
seperti
garrison,
20 terpojok ya?
I
Apa
mean,
karena
I
belum
know
pada
they had
on?
at least the
Kayaknya
amount
belum
of
pada on
marches
deh.
they could've
Dikit
pulled
orangnya
from
soalnya.
garrisons off to the side, plus whatever maybe they could have pulled from garrisons. Plus, I mean, look, it's easy to be a critic, right? But the work that a grand finals team needs to do is figuring out their logistics so that they can bring their fresh marches to the middle when the time comes for the mid fight. But I think that's their path, right? That, or they need to send enough to the mid to convince 60GT that they're going mid, but then actually hit the structures and take and hold a bunch of them. That's hard to pull off, man.
No.
That's like really hard.
Lihat deh, Atletiknya hamahan di bawah Barca.
You got to respect what PX34
Bagus.
has done to get to this point. But I
Kasih
think
debuff.
when we're talking about top tier, teams that people just don't know quite how to beat yet. Even though JST did lose on the way to the grand finals to the 60GT team, it was a 700-point match. That's actually
Battlefield tuh ya
taking a structure 5
komentar yang
seconds
GG
to
loh. Jangan berasa dia apa gratis jadinya itu ya. Battlefield tuh komentar yang bagus banget. Kasih debuffnya dari skillnya.
Like it's stuff like that that make that difference. So that JST 60GT match that we saw 2 weeks ago, I think that was one of the premier matches in this grand finals, just because I think those are the top two right now that are really people are looking to copy and mimic, and it's not easy to do because there's a lot of fluidity to what both of those teams do. JST and 60GT really kind of having the same type of strategy on timing, on making sure that they're
pengen mulai war tapi takut bonyok, mending nunggu rame biar lebih kill. Iya ya, kayak tadi gua pusing.
Yeah. I think PX34 next week they've got
sama Trajan.
The series will be decided.
Tadi temen gue juga pakai tuh si S. Trajan sama Battlefield. Bang JC sama sekali nggak bagus. Enggak sih. Menurut gue nggak bagus di Caesar. Dia perlu dibagusin tuh kayaknya tuh. Kalau nggak salah ada aliansi Indo di 60 AXYL. Oh, nggak tahu gue.
Really dominate the battlefield here, and honestly, let's be real, both of these teams are absolutely top tier.
Wah, nggak bisa. Udah nggak bisa.
They have won their leagues for OSIRIS, but 60
udah nggak bisa tuh. 60 GT 43.000, PX 27.000 udah nggak bisa ini. Mau ada off series dapat juga nggak bisa, kalah. Kalah, udah kalah. Ore, congrats tuh 60 GT. Wow. Ya, Cina itu tuh.
Almost the same.
Oh iya lu. Skornya sebenarnya hampir mirip loh. Total kills yang dari 60 GT 76 juta. Yang dari PX 68 juta. Severely woundednya 68 juta. Yang PX itu sebelum itu 76 juta. Unit healnya nih yang interesting nih. Dari 60 GT 5 juta. Yang PX itu 4,3 juta ya. Wow. Ini sama GT itu banyak banget ini ngambilin itu provision score. OSIRIS 2 kali, dia delay abis-abisan. Dia delay abis-abisan.
The kills I think tell the story. I think the kills really tell the story here. 76 million, right? To 68 million.
Gue tiba-tiba kepencet live ini game apaan bang kayak rame? Ini game Rise of Kingdom.
Like that is
Hore panen koin. Tumben Attila nggak kepake di AOO padahal untuk lari cover bagus. Kalau di sini udah ada bukan ininya lagi cuy. Yang lain yang rally. Siang yang rally. Ini komentatornya terus nggak habis-habis dia ngomong enak denger. Coba orang Indo komentatornya. Ya jabret. Jesse biasanya aneh bawa second. Alex kalau yang lain dari bawah ke field. Jarang sih gua sih. Tujuan delay apa ya? Jadinya tuh kamu tuh nggak ini. Ini memang komentator si Cisgul yang ngomong sama Dragontian. Kalau misalkan itu memang bagusnya tuh di delay. Jadinya tuh spawnnya lebih lama gitu. Kalau war gini si Joan juga bagus, tapi jarang. Banyak kan Battlefield.
What were they doing? Because provisioning score almost tripled by 60GT, meaning they had provisioners on the back end more than PX34 did. So I'm curious to see how 60GT
yang itu udah patung-patung
mass in the middle
yang buat dekorasi
PX34 every time and out provision 3-1 PX34
occupation score
all at the same time. So just all
GT itu menang di bangunan banget ya. Nih menang nih, lihat tuh.
in favor
32.000.
of 60GT, alongside of some other things, obviously, to
Tapi PX
look at
bagus
behind
banget.
the scenes. But
GG
you
60GT.
know, both teams, like you said, deserve to be here. But 60GT clearly the top tier team in this matchup, having won 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, kalau
That's
Cisgo
pretty
ngomong berasa kayak
devastating.
kereta nggak ada
And again,
putusan, adanya
taking the
khas banget.
championship,
Iya.
taking the crown. Next week's match we will be here to do, but it will be for pride alone, as 60GT has in fact secured the Grand Finals championship.
Yeah, let me jump back to the casting booth real quick. Meet you there, Dragothian.
Sounds good.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the casting booth. The Osiris League Grand Finals 2-0 for 60GT in blue. PX34
Oke,
in red
kita
has
udahin
one
dulu.
more opportunity next week to bring.
Loh, kok jadi Google? Oke guys, sekian dulu ya. Live-nya dari gua udah kelar. Dan gua nanti akan yang di Kingdom 2170 ya. Bagi di sini yang belum subscribe, yuk bisa. Bang, OTW LK? Iya, ntar. Rame juga bakal pemainnya OC dan PUBG. Oh, ikut aja juga yuk. EXP The Clown, main. Download aja Rise of Kingdom. Komunitasnya rame kok. Apa Rise of Kingdom di sini. Oke guys, gue sebentar lagi nanti akan mau live juga nanti.